Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today we're actually on the way to look at bikes for Niall. Niall, we had looked at a Honda ST1300, which I mentioned in a previous video, and he was considering Harleys, but has since unconsidered Harleys, which, you know, I want Harley, I'd still buy a Road King, but I get where he's coming from in certain cases. And right now we're actually on the way to Team Powersports in Garner to look at a Honda CTX 1300. The Honda CTX 1300 was actually the successor to the ST 1300. It's the same V4 engine, but it only ran for 1 year just because it never really got the appreciation. No one liked it. I'll be honest, no one liked it. If it deserved that particular reputation, I don't know. I've never ridden one. Personally, I understand where people come from around the beauty aspects. However, it is a V4 and it is interesting, and for that, it gets all the bonus points for me. I am a big fan of V4 engines, and I am a big fan of interesting bikes, like limited run bikes, and the fact that it only ran for a year is certainly interesting. Niall, question for you while I'm making the video. Did you nearly drag the engine bars, bro? No, not even close? So that's just a conversation around, you know, some people are asking about the engine bars, which I made a short to cover off. I thought that was pretty clear, and most people who had actually asked me about it said, you know, thanks, but I still got one or two like, oh, but what if, look, or what if airplanes were donkeys? You can what if all day long, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to build a bike for the rider that's going to be on it, and I know the person who's going to be on that one is not going to be riding it crazy fast. That was fun. So yeah, anyway, I was fairly sure that would never be an issue for Toaster, or for Niall, or for me, to be honest, because especially if you're aware of the limitations, I think you'll be absolutely fine. But here we are in Team Powersports in Garner to look at this CTX, which I'll get some clips of probably on my phone. I like those Husqvarna Svart pillins as well. Yeah, I would get the 650L before the Kawasaki. I'm recording, by the way, if that's okay with you. I like that Vulcan Custom. It's very pretty. And the Vulcan Classic. Oh yeah. And the Rebel 1100. Lots of bikes. Tracer 9 GT. They have a lot of bikes here. I'm impressed. Oh, it's a DCT. Boo. Unfortunately, that was a bust. Niall, the bike Niall wanted to look at had just sold this morning, so unfortunately that is the way it sometimes goes. However, just because we're out on the bikes, we're going to go over and look at what they have in Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson. Even though he's not planning on buying anything there, they might have a used bike. We do need to get fuel also. But yeah, that's Team Powersports Garner. They're alright to deal with in there. I've never had any issues. I bought some parts and stuff off them in the past. They did ignore me when I asked them what they'd like me to do first ride reviews on their bikes, which is, you know, hurtful. But yeah, they have a good stock in there. I'll put up a video of some of the used bikes, which are cool. And they do also have some new bikes that I'll put in photos. And a couple of them, like the Transalp and the Tenere, they all say 1,000 off. So if you are in the market for any of those, I'm in no way affiliated with them because they wouldn't let me be. But you know, there's a couple of nice bikes in there for sale if you are in the market for any of those. Don't want someone running over that. Like a fake hubcap or some shit. It's one thing you have to watch for over here is there's not so much like stones and stuff on the road, but there's a lot of junk. And I'm not referring to the people on phones in their cars. I'm referring to literal rubbish. So anyway, unfortunately, Niall has struck out, as they say, on a bike again. He doesn't have great luck over here shopping for vehicles, being honest. But we'll change that. I think it's just one of those things as well, is I think a lot of the time you need to make up your mind on what you want, and then when the opportunity comes up for that thing, you need to just get it. You know, if you have the money there and you can, and you know you've done your research and know you can afford it, just get the bike, get whatever it might be. You know, just make sure you can afford it. Which, I mean, he knows his budget. He is wise in that way. So, but yeah, Team Powersports Garner seem to have a nice little selection of bikes, and they actually have more used bikes in there now, which is nice, because I remember when we first moved over here, what, 2.5 years ago now, it was still like, you know, post-COVID days, so everyone had low stock, but I remember we stopped in there and being really, really disappointed on like what was on offer used. Like now they have a couple of cool Kawasaki Vulcans and stuff that, you know, back when we first moved here, I could have very easily been tempted towards something like that, but it didn't work out that way at the time, and I'm not upset it didn't. I know I'm very, very, very happy I ended up with my V-Strom 1000, to be honest. You know, not that a Vulcan wouldn't be a really cool bike to own, it would, but I think what I ended up with made a hell of a lot more sense for me anyway, so cannot complain. It is the one bad thing really about going, you know, I love going to dealerships, I love looking at bikes, but around here it is very much riding like this. But yeah, it is the worst thing about riding around Raleigh, is just all the roads are this, like straight lines and traffic lights. I'm sure if you were more local and you knew the area, there's probably a lot more here that I don't know about. You know, maybe there's some fun back roads or whatever else, but you know, it is what it is. When you're out leading someone, especially, like, I can't just take random turns and, you know, hope they bring me to where I want to go. I kind of have to I just have to follow Google Maps sometimes, and this is one of those times. There was like 3 options Google Maps gave me to get over to Tobacco Road, Harley. None of them were fantastic, so I took the most straightforward one instead. No, we do both need fuel, so we'll go get some. Oh, this is the one with actual, like, separated pumps. Oh, brother man, that's what I'm talking about, brother. I do like ones with separated pumps because it means you're actually getting what you're paying for. I love this country. $10. Let's see how much miles that was for. 112 miles. Oh, wrong one. This one, I think. And $6. Mine was $10. That was for like 113 miles. Oh, actually, let me just reset your thing. 136 miles for you. Not bad. I've told everyone that you've not had great luck buying things over here so far. Yeah. Fair. Huh? Fair statement. Yeah. Anyway, fueled up. I love how cheap fuel is over here. Don't get me wrong, America has some downsides too, as I'm sure everyone in the world is aware of at this point. But there are a lot of positives to living over here as well. Obviously, the weather being a huge one. The price of fuel, being able to just live affordably. Yeah, I know Niall is looking mainly for like comfort on a bike. So he is right now. He was primarily looking at the ST1300, but the CTX caught his eye as well. Whereas I do like a fast bike, but honestly, after riding the Rebel and how much fun the Rebel is, just at like normal people speeds, you know, the speeds that I can record and release to YouTube, it might make more sense. You know, I might even enjoy a slower bike more. I love this bike, but like, especially on video, I can't really have fun on it. You know what I mean? Just because it's not something, and that's not a big deal. I mean, I ride it plenty without making videos, but it's just not something you can do really. Is really kind of show how good this bike is on the road. After all the modifications and stuff. I don't know. I got an interesting one actually that I think a lot of people just are not aware of. Is someone was asking me, hey, why, you know, why are you changing the spring on your bike or on your bike's shock or whatever? Is it to get it working more better. I'm like, no, it's just because I'm heavy. Like, if you are not aware, and it also will affect comfort, if you are a comfort rider like Niall more so than anything else. I always thank people when they're nice in traffic. It's not something I really generally do, is record actually talking in traffic, because usually I'm concentrating. Same as on track, you know, I don't talk too much. Like even if I haven't tried it in a long time, just because it's too difficult to, you know, to actually speak when you're kind of actually focusing 100%. Kind of like when you're in heavier traffic areas, I would recommend just paying attention. You know, and I like I said, I would consider myself pretty experienced at this point, but I still like to keep 100% of my wits about me, because you never know. Like coming into where you're going in between two cars, I like to be exceedingly careful, because you just don't know what someone could get frustrated here and just decide to go. And I really don't want to, you know, be squished like that. And I'm just always ready to move around the lane. Not that that's what this video is about. We're talking about Niall's bad luck and how I hope it's cured soon. But yeah, that's something I hope if you, you know, if you're someone who, I couldn't resist. If you're someone who wants something, I would recommend that. Just get all your stuff in order, get your money in order, and then whenever the thing that you actually want comes up, just get it, because I mean, it's happened to me several times. You know, it's something I thought was the thing that I really wanted, and then I've missed out on it. However, what I will say is all of those times I've missed out on a thing, except maybe, you know, once or twice, something I would have really liked to have, it's worked out fine. You know, the alternative has nearly been better. So, you know, sometimes when things aren't meant to be, they're just not meant to be, and that's absolutely fine too. But you have to be okay with that. Like, if you're delaying on a decision, you have to be okay with missing out on the thing that you think you really want. So now we wait. I think I actually should have went up there and done a U-turn, but anyway, this way works, probably. We'll find out. I've actually never been to the Tobacco Road Harley Davidson. Oh, that bus over there is cool. Something's Kitchen. Their shelf is actually blocking their kitchen name, so I can't advertise them. Coffee Cats. Well, I like this place better already. But yeah, that bus is cool. I like the colours. I wonder what it is. Sarah's Kitchen? Maybe Sarah's Kitchen. I assume this is the actual easier. Oh yeah, using all of the road. You paid your taxes for all of the road, didn't you, buddy? Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So unfortunately, there was actually no used bikes that weren't Harleys in Tobacco Road, which, I mean, I was kind of expecting, but it is what it is. Also, the music that the people there were playing was insanely loud, so I couldn't record anything, because YouTube doesn't like music, obviously. Even if you're not actively trying to have it on your channel, you can still get hit for copyright infringements. So yeah, not worth the risk. But Tobacco Road was cool. They had a lot of old Ray Price stuff there, like drag racing gear and his bikes and whatnot. That was cool. And look, I like looking at all bikes, so that was cool seeing those bikes sitting there. I can't afford any of them, but you know, they're cool. They're cool bikes. I appreciate all of them. So that is definitely something that's always nice to see. Oh, more super loud music. I'll have to not cut this bit too. I gotta be honest, I like all bikes, but I don't like external speakers. It's a bit much, you know what I mean? It's a bit much. I think I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm like, maybe I'm old. Am I old? Maybe I'm old. I've just, use a Cardo, you know what I mean? That's kind of my thing. Especially, I wouldn't mind if it wasn't so loud, but it's actually it's painfully loud even if you're near it. So let me know, what do you think? If you have speakers on your bike, how loud do you have them? You know, do you do it through towns, or should you do it on the back roads, or would you rather use a Cardo? I mean, I'm genuinely interested. I don't mean this in a disparaging way towards anyone who owns a bike and uses speakers. I just want to know, if you do that, have you ever considered, you know, like how unpleasant it is for some other people? And that's what I would like to know. And I understand that this is kind of hypocritical of me because I like a louder than stock exhaust. So, I mean, am I any better? Probably not. But self-awareness is important, you know. I'm probably just as much of an asshole as anyone else. So, yeah, anyway. I couldn't resist. I have a problem. I love this bike. Yeah, I went to Team Powersports in Garner. That was a bust. Unfortunately, the CTX 1300 was sold for poor Niall. He does have his eye on another CTX 1300 that's for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Hopefully they respond. And there's also an ST 1300 for sale in Greenville, which maybe he'll go for too. I do think, though, that he seems to be narrowed in on either the CTX or the ST. So, you know, like I said before, if your mind is made up, have your money ready, make sure you can afford it, and just do it. Otherwise, you'll live with regret, and we don't want that. You know, that's bad for you. Bad for the mind, the body, and the soul. So, yeah, don't do that. If you want something and you can afford it, don't ruin your life for something. You know what I mean? Like, don't be broke for the rest of your life so you could afford a bike that you literally could have done without or had a different bike. But at the same time, you know, don't sleep on things so much that you wake up when you're 95 thinking like, I really should have done that thing. You know what I mean? That's how I try to live my life. You know, if I was a little bit less financially sensible, there's definitely things I would have already done that I would really like to do. But at the same time, you do have to balance your hopes and dreams and your desires with your capability to afford them and also pay your rent. So, you know, that's just life. If I win the lotto, that will change, but so far I have not won the lotto. So it is what it is. So yeah, let me know, have you ever went to buy a vehicle and been left disappointed as it's sold right out under your nose? And I think this is literally, I don't know, this is the second or third time it's happened to Niall since he moved here, and he's not been here that long. So yeah, track record is not so good for him right now. But yeah, let me know, has that ever happened to you? And if it did happen to you, what was it for? But otherwise, if you've watched, thank you very much for watching. I do really, as always, appreciate your eyes and ears. You know, because without you, I probably would eventually give it making up videos if they got 0 viewers every time. You know, maybe Toaster would still take pity on me and watch the videos or whatever. But yeah, without the engagement of people in the comments, I would most certainly not still be doing this. So. And I say that because I recently got a comment there just on a short saying, oh, it's so nice to see you're still making videos. You helped me with my CBF or whatever. Number one, thank you if you're watching this video. And number two, yeah, I mean, don't say you're glad. You know, thank the people who still watch my videos week in, week out, because it's literally those comments and stuff that keep it going. It's the people who watch a 5-year-old video on how to change some oil on a particular bike and say thanks and say that it helped them out. You know, all of that is... That means the world to me, to be honest. Like it's the most fulfilling job I've ever done in my life. Not that it's really a job; it is a hobby. But it's definitely the most fulfilling thing I've ever done that actually produced something, I suppose. That and honestly working on roofs. Working in the corporate world and engineering can be fulfilling on occasion, but I would say 90%. You're left feeling like, oh, I didn't really do anything today. So you know, that's just, even if you did do something, you just feel like you didn't do. I don't know, it's a weird thing of being divorced from the results of your work, I suppose, if that makes sense. I think people who work in my industry would understand. I don't know. I would like to get back into something that's a little bit more direct at some point, where I can really see the results of what I do. Like YouTube, and the results of what I do is literally comments and engagement from people. So I will forever and always appreciate the people who do interact. Thank you. As always, thank you very much to all of my patrons. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you being patient when I occasionally miss a video or don't get much early access out. I've literally never had one complaint from any of you, so I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate that y'all seem to have signed up just genuinely to support me making videos rather than, you know, the very minor benefits you get from it. So, you know, I am aware that as a production house, I fall short, but I am on my own, with the occasional help from Niall and Toaster. But yeah, I do really appreciate the patience and the support. And yeah, until next time, thanks again for watching. Adios. Outro crew, I will talk to you when we get back to the garage and we'll see can we coerce a question from Niall. I don't think I've been down this road before, actually. Interesting. It's pretty though. I actually prefer when I see somewhere that's clearly been lived in longer, if that makes sense. Like somewhere that's, you know, had people there, like houses are older, maybe a little bit scrappier or whatever else, not as neat and tidy. I think it just shows more like actual personality, you know what I mean? Like so much stuff over here now is built to be like a corporate stamp, and I don't know, I just feel like you lose a lot of like a community's identity when you get that. If that makes any sense to anyone, I don't know will I even leave this little section here in the video, but yeah, I don't know. I get it. I get, you know, improving areas and all that, you know, it's in the long run probably better for everyone, but at the same time I do feel you lose something if you just, what's the word for gentrification? You know, me and Toast were actually talking about this the other day. I do feel you lose something if you gentrify an area entirely. Like all those old, like that is gentrification. That's a good example. I mean, those are nice garages and everything, but you know, it's just, yeah, I don't know. That is a nice garage though. You know, maybe I'm okay with gentrification if I can get myself a nice big garage. No, I'm not really, because I feel like you lose, you know, a lot of the places people like to go for a lot of videos, like you know, food videos and stuff. It's never like some new chic, fancy, you know, like really designed restaurant. It's somewhere that's like, hey, we've made this for 60 years and it's really good. It's like the place that we went to with Rafe, Walter, and being here now with Percy. Rest in peace, my friend. In up near Luray Caverns. That hot dog place was absolutely delicious, and the chili hot dogs, it was like, oh, we've been making this chili for like, I think it was like 60-70 years, so we knew it was going to be good, you know. And that's kind of, I think you lose a lot of that when you do like gentrifying area. You force out those old businesses and stuff that everyone loves, and everyone cries after the fact, but it's too late, you know. Rent has gone up, or local property taxes have gone up over here, and people just can't afford it anymore. Or in Ireland, like, you know, electricity charges and stuff go up, and just the small little cafes and stuff just can't stay open. And I do think that is really, really sad. And that's just my little aside to this video. I just, one last addition, I just saw a sign back there, Cornwall's houses. I assume those houses back there probably cost roughly the same, in the same realm. It said starting from low 400s. That is low $400,000 for a house. So there's really not many people who can comfortably afford that, you know what I mean? So yeah, kind of proves my point. So Niall, what is your outro crew question?
My question is, I'm looking at 3 bikes, and one is a Harley Davidson. And I'm just wondering, what do people think with everything online lately? Does Harley Davidson have a bit of a negative reputation?
Everything online?
Yeah, you know, you see videos of like aggressive Harley riders.
Oh yeah, fair.
Do they have a bit of a, has their reputation changed a little bit?
And you don't want to be associated with that, is it?
Not that. Just wondering. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good question.